Hi everybody, welcome back to the KL White-Hartman YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you're here, and I hope that you've had a chance to watch some of the other videos, to hear my story, to see why I'm putting these videos out there, and to start absorbing some of the mentorship that is in the previous videos. If you haven't done that, go back and check them out after this video. You won't regret it. But I want to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like and subscribe, because then you'll be notified when new videos come out, when new content comes along, so that it can help you to grow and to build yourself on your success journey. Because a decade ago, I encountered mentors that helped me out with the very principles that I am teaching you on this YouTube page. And so I want to encourage you to make sure that you stay tuned to this. And not only that, but share it with your friends, right? Everybody wants to have successful friends. So let's all succeed together using the tips and the principles that are available to all of you on these YouTube videos. And so today, I want to talk to you about the idea of having a clearly defined work and rest time. Now, here's what I mean by this. When I was working a full-time job for a boss other than myself, I always thought how nice it would be to not be dictated by a schedule, right? We all have this idea, like how we live on the weekends, right? Where we don't have to get up at a certain time and where we feel a little freer maybe. Well, if you don't have kids. If you have kids, you probably still have to get up on the weekends, right? But we have this idea in our mind, and on the weekend, it's like if you stay up later watching TV or reading a book or hanging out with friends, it doesn't matter, right? You feel freer about it because you know you don't have to get up in the morning. Whereas during the work week, if you do that, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to get up early, I'm gonna feel crummy, it's not gonna be good, right? And so it keeps us sometimes from doing the things that we really wanna do. And so I always thought to myself, man, wouldn't it be great if I could be my own boss, make my own schedule, and I didn't have to be dictated by anything that was going on, right? I could just, I think a lot of people experienced this during COVID when they had to come home for a little while and there was this uncertainty in their schedules, right? And it was like, for me, I spent a lot of time staying up playing video games, which I don't normally do, but it was like, I have extra time and I don't have to get up early. So why not? Right? And so in my mind, that was like the ultimate thing. If I could just have this autonomy, this freedom over my schedule. And so when I got that, when I went to work for myself full time as a writer, as a speaker, I was so excited, right? Because I could get up when I wanted, I could work when I wanted. But what I found was there wasn't really a defined starting or ending point for my work. And so I found myself kind of all day long either working on things half-heartedly because I'm thinking, oh, I can finish this up later, or pushing things off, or not really stopping in the evening. And so my family wants to sit down and have family time, and I'm like, oh, I still gotta work on this project. It's gonna take me a little longer, right? And so what I found was that freedom of not having any schedule actually became really unproductive. And it's not that I wasn't doing things, right? I was working every day, but I didn't have a clearly defined work time or end time. And so it just kind of got drug out through the whole day. You've probably heard the expression that the task will expand to fill the time set for it, or that your finances, your lifestyle will expand to the level of your finances, right? That's why so many people, they get a raise and then they raise their lifestyle, and then they get a raise and they raise their lifestyle. And so they never really get ahead. And it's the same with our time. If we have no clearly defined space within which to get something done, is it going to get done? Eventually, maybe. Right? It's like the idea of if you gave yourself a week to clean your house, you'll take a week to clean your house. But if company's coming in an hour, it'll only take you an hour to clean your house, right? And so the more clearly defined your workspace, usually, the more productive that you are with it. And so that's what I learned, is that I had to set very clear boundaries around my workspace. Now, this doesn't mean I can't be flexible or change the times that I want to work. But for me, what I had to learn was that I had to have clearly defined work time and clearly defined rest time. And for a lot of you out there who are very type A, productive, on it type people like me, that may be hard for you, right? Because I didn't feel like I needed rest time ever. I thought, I'll just keep at it all day, every day, right? Who needs rest time? And the truth is we all do, right? Rest time was built into the world from the very beginning. God, when he created the world, literally put a day of rest into his creation. If that doesn't tell you something. The book of Ecclesiastes also talks about how there's times and seasons for everything. If we think about nature, right, it goes through this winter, this dead period when it's at rest, when the trees aren't really growing like they do during spring and summer. They're not producing, they're not blooming, they're resting. The earth is kind of vacant and barren during that time. And it's because there's this rest and this renewal cycle. And our bodies and our brains need the same thing, right? We need to have clearly defined work time and clearly defined rest time. And that's why it's so important. It's built into creation. It's built into the way that we're wired. It's built in fact, God told the Israelite people that they should observe a Sabbath of rest. And he said that the Sabbath was for them. They needed that rest, right? And we're no different. And you don't have to be Jewish or Christian to believe in taking a day of rest. That's something that is just so fundamentally good for us to have these rest periods. And so today I want to talk to you about the idea of how you can create a clearly defined rest and a clearly defined work time. So the first thing for me was staying organized and knowing what I needed to accomplish. So I keep lists and habit trackers so I know what I need to accomplish with my work, what I need to accomplish with my home, with myself, all of those things. And so I know what needs done, and I can organize it and say, this is approximately how long this will take. So for me, what I do is if I know I need to work 4 hours, maybe I'll pick 2 time brackets, and I will say from 10 to noon, I am working. That is work time. I'm not going to take outside phone calls unless they're emergencies. I'm not going to get distracted doing the laundry or the dishes or getting a snack. I'm not going to be doing something else random that needs done around the house. Those 2 hours are productive time. And then I'll take an hour break and do lunch and laundry and whatever. And then from 1 to 3, that's productive work time. And I won't be interrupted during that time. So now I've given myself 2 very clearly defined workspaces from 10 to noon and from 1 to 3. During those times, I'm focused. I'm doing what's on my list because I know this is my time for work. At the end of that work time, provided that I've gotten the things done that I needed to do for that day, I'm done. There's maybe a lot of other projects that I could do, right? It's kind of a never-ending to-do list when you have a job, when you're a business owner, but I'm not going to keep working at the end of my clearly defined work time because now it's time to be done. So I've used my productive time, I've been very focused, and now I'm done. So that productive work time allows me to know here's how much time I have, here's what I have to get done, and to stay focused on it and get it done in that amount of time. Before, I would just say, here's all the things I need to get done today, and I'll work on them throughout the day, and I'll be doing other things at the same time. And I was never as productive or focused as I could be because I was trying to do all the things just in this kind of lackadaisical way, right? And so if you make clearly defined workspace, then you can be more productive. And if you're not a business owner, if you're not a person who works from home, you can apply this in other areas, right? Maybe it's your workout time or your personal growth time, like your reading or whatever it is, where you say, this is my clearly defined space for this. And you tell your kids and your spouse, hey, from 7 to 7:30 in the morning, I am reading and I am not to be disturbed. Whatever it might be, take that clearly defined time. Now, the second thing is to have your clearly defined rest time. So for me, Mondays are my defined rest day. So unless I have something scheduled on a Monday, like a big speaking event or something that can't be rearranged, Mondays are my day off. And if I work on Monday, I take a different day off, right? It doesn't give me an excuse to work 7 days a week. Believe me, I did that. It's not a good idea. Your body crashes and your brain crashes and it's just not good. So Mondays are my day off. And on Mondays, I give myself permission to do absolutely nothing. Whatever I feel like doing. If I wake up that day and I want to lay on the couch, if I want to stay in bed, if I want to go for a walk, whatever it is. And here's the thing. I used to feel guilty about that when I didn't have clearly defined work time. Because that whole day that I was resting, I was thinking, oh, I need to be doing this. Oh, I should be doing that. Oh, that needs done. But when I had clearly defined work time, I know, okay, I did all those things that needed done this week. If I think of something on a rest day that needs done, I write it into my clearly defined work time for later on in the week and I move on. I do not do that task on my rest day. Rest day is for rest, for doing things that are enjoyable, for doing things that refresh my mind and body. Now, does that always mean I'm just like laying around on rest day? No. Sometimes on rest day, I'm like, ooh, I want to rearrange the closet that I haven't gotten to in a while because that energizes me. That's fun for me. It's not something that is work. It's something that I enjoy doing. And so I'm going to go do that, right? It's something that I wouldn't have time to do in my normal work week. And I'm resting by doing something that energizes my body and my brain. So I want to encourage you, first of all, define that clear work time so that you can get things done in that space. Second of all, define that clear rest time. So Mondays for me, you know the song, today I swear I am not doing anything, right? So Mondays are my rest day. Now, here's the other thing, one last thing, is I already told you that if something pops into your brain on your rest day or your rest time, like, ooh, I really should do this, write it down for that clearly defined work time and then move on from it. And here's the other thing. If you are thinking, okay, well, yes, but I have these habits like working out or whatever it might be, and I don't want to just let them drop, I would encourage you to pick whatever your most vital habits are that you're like, these I must do every single day, and drop the rest on your rest day. Just be like, you know what? No, I'm only going to do what rests and rejuvenates me. So for me, there's only two things that I require of myself on my rest day. The first one is to read my Bible. Second one is to take my vitamins. If I do nothing else on my rest day, I'm good because I did the two things that I have to do every day. Other than that, if I don't work out on a rest day, fine. If I don't read on a rest day, fine. I probably will because I love to read. But if I'm feeling obligated, like, oh, I really should do that, I don't do it on my rest day. I don't do anything on my rest days that I feel like I should do, right? It's only for resting, rejuvenating, resetting, taking joy, enjoyment, right? Those are such important things that strengthen and build our spirits. In fact, the Bible says that the joy of the Lord is your strength. So there's literally strength in joy. So on that rest day, if you're doing things that you find to be joyful, you're actually strengthening yourself, which is a pretty cool thing. So that's really what I wanted to discuss with you guys today. It's a little bit out of character. Normally I have like lists and formats for you, but I just wanted you to understand that as you go about creating your life, creating your schedule, designing your habits, I wanted you to know that you need a clearly defined work space or time for whatever it is that you're doing, whether that's your habits or your career or your family. Maybe you need clearly defined space for that, right? And during that time, you can be super productive because you know this is exactly what I am doing in this space and time because you've written down what needs done. You know that I have this 90 minutes or I have this hour or this 20 minutes or whatever it is to just do this thing. And outside of that, you need that clearly defined rest time so that after you've put in that productive time all week and you feel good because you're like, I did the stuff I need to do, then you can shut off and say, no more. I've done what I need to do. And now I'm going to rest, I'm going to relax, I'm going to rejuvenate because now this is my clearly defined rest time. And if anything pops into your head that says, oh, you should do this, put it on your list for that productive work time and only do what brings you joy and the very minimal habits that you must do each day in order to have your health and your peace, okay? All right, well, you guys, I can't wait to see you succeed. Check out some of the other videos, get some other success tips, put them into practice in your life. Comment below the video and let me know if it's helping you. I'd love to hear from you all. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you again soon.